Cover.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chloe from the channel Brunette Bibliophile, and today I'm here with my lovely co-host, Kathleen from For the Love of Books. And today we are doing our live show for My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is the companion sequel to My Lady Jane. More like it's just like a companion, I guess. I don't know. But I am so excited to discuss this book. Like, I know I always say, like, I run out of stuff, and I feel like I'm still going to run out of stuff, but I'm excited. How are you feeling today, Kat?
I'm good. I finished reading this book earlier this afternoon, so it's still pretty fresh on my mind.
That's good. Yeah, I finished, I can't remember, a couple days ago, I think. And I've been just rereading a book since, so hopefully I still got everything, like, fresh in my mind.
Okay.
So, as usual, we always start with some non-spoiler opening thoughts. And then after that, we get into spoilers. So if you haven't read the book and you don't want to hear spoilers, and I suggest leaving after that, or if you don't care about spoilers, then just go ahead and stay. So would you like to go ahead and start, Kat?
Sure. So we decided to make this our book pick of the month because we both read My Lady Jane, which was the first book by this group of authors, and we loved it. And My Lady Jane was based off of Lady Jane Grey, who was a real person in history. She was like the Queen of England for like a couple of days before she was executed for treason. And they take these famous Janes in history or literature or whatever, and they kind of like take the story and they spin it a little. They add their own fiction to it. They kind of add some almost like magical elements to it as well. And so this book was based off of Jane Eyre, who is a fictional literary character written by Charlotte Bronte, who is actually a character in this book, which I didn't expect. I honestly thought it was just going to be like with Lady Jane Grey, I thought it was going to be just like a spin off of the real story. So I thought that this book was going to be a spin off of the story of Jane Eyre. So, but I went into this book. I never read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, so I had no idea what the original story was like, what was based off. So I went into this book completely blank. I have no like prior history knowledge about Jane Eyre, so I had no idea what to expect. Obviously, I do know that it's a romance book featuring Mr. Rochester, whatever his name is, and so I ended up enjoying the book. I have to say I don't like it as much as Lady Jane Grey. I think that first book, I like it a lot more. I don't know why. I just felt like I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the story a lot. I thought it was funny. I personally didn't think it was as funny as the first book. I found this book to be entertaining. I felt like I enjoyed reading the first book more. And I still haven't rated this book. I don't know what I'm going to rate. I'll probably give it a 4-star. But the first book, like I really, really loved it, and I really enjoyed that book. And I want to reread that book just because I found it to be so entertaining. But this book, I just didn't feel that same connection as I did with the first book. But it was a good read. It was entertaining. It was interesting. I liked that we got to read not just about Jane Eyre, but also Charlotte Bronte. So it was a good read.
I agree on a couple of different things. I also didn't know the story of Jane Eyre, and I also agree that I think My Lady Jane was funnier, but I think it had more of a twist that would make it funnier. Where this one I think was just like a little bit darker, like still really, really good, just a little bit darker. Just because of the whole supernatural aspect that they put into it. But I really, really enjoyed this book because I've been in like a weird, like slumpy-ish mood for a while. And once I actually like sat down and like started reading this, I really, really enjoyed it. And I gave it 5 stars. It's been a hot second since I read the first one, because I know we read it around the same time. So it's been a little bit since I read the first one, so I don't remember as much of the first one as like I do with this, like being fresh in my head. But I still really, really enjoyed this, and 5 stars. So I think we're gonna move into spoilers now. So if you haven't read, you don't care about spoilers, then stay. If you do, see you later. I don't know. So I've been wanting to talk about this. I know I pointed it out to you, like in a subtle way. I've been wanting to talk about the cameo from.
Yeah, I found out like when I was reading the book, I was like looking for it. I was like, where is it? And then it's like towards the end of the book, and I was like, oh, there it is. But one thing that you told me that there's a cameo. Did you notice the Harry Potter reference too?
No. What?
There was a Harry Potter reference.
Oh, wait, maybe I did. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's on page 394. I tabbed it because I was like, this sounds really familiar. And then I realized it's a Harry Potter reference.
Hold on. I think
it's like at the top.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes, I remember that.
I thought it was funny, and I was like, that was a
good. When I was like reading it
later, we get to the My Lady Jane reference.
Mm-hmm. And I was kind of sad when I saw that reference because, like, she's a ghost, so she's dead. I was a little sad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, her and her horse boy died. Horseman, I can't remember his name. Trying to get the tweet out that we're live. So that was like the main thing I wanted to talk about. And there are like, so I found there were so many twists with this because of like the seeing ghosts thing and like the being possessed thing. Like there was so much happening, and it was like one after the other, like boom, 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 and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I definitely say that I feel like this book, I feel like My Lady Jane was I felt like the story flowed better, but I liked the story that because it had a lot more, like you said, more plot twists, and so it kept me more on the edge of my seat, wanting to know what happens next.
Yes,
that's a difference that I noticed with these two books.
Mm-hmm. And this one is shorter too.
Is it?
Yeah, but not by much. But I can physically tell that it's shorter before I look at pages. I don't know. So I'm very interested to know about the third one because I think there's only going to be 3. I think, but the title is My Calamity Jane. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything out about it yet.
Do we know which Jane it is?
I don't know. Let's check the Goodreads. I feel like at some point in every live show, we're always on Goodreads. But I'm also like trying to tweak stuff too. Let's see. I've got split screen on, so it's super weird. My plane. Okay. Look, here's a random thing while I search this. What color do you think the next cover will be? So we've had like a pink and purple. We've had a yellow and blue. Well, yours is green and purple, but not the point. So what color do we think the next one's going to be? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, I really like the colors that they use. I especially like the colors that they use for the font. I like that it's like really pop. It really pops out at you. And I don't know.
I like this cover a lot more than the last one. Like they're both gorgeous, but I like this one the best. Now the third one's not. Oh, there it is. I feel like it's not popping up. It just says the legendary Calamity Jane gets a better ending to her story.
Well, according to like Wikipedia, she's a real person in history. It says she was an American frontierswoman and a professional scout known for being acquaintance with Wild Bill and fighting against Indians.
Against?
Yeah. Oh. So it says late in her life, she appeared in the Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. So we're talking about like, the wild, wild west of American history.
Well, that's going to be, it might be a little different because the past 2 books have been set in England, right?
Yeah.
And this one will be set in America. What were you what were your thoughts when like the whole Mr. Rochester proposed to Jane?
I didn't like him. I thought he was so creepy, and she was like, "Oh, but I fell in love with Mr. Like, why? Why? He's so creepy. He's so creepy. I don't understand how she fell in love with this guy because he was so creepy. Like, I get Charlotte liking Alexander because I felt like in his own way he was really charming, but Mr. Rochester, like, he was just like, she kept saying that he's like tall, dark, and handsome and like broody, and I was like, no, especially when he was amongst like the family like of his fiance, whatever, and he treated her like shit, and he like let people talk bad about her, and he didn't do anything. In fact, he pretended, he just ignored her. I was just like, why do you like this guy? I don't understand. And so I was kind of like, because I know that, I mean, even though I never read the original story of Jane Eyre, I know that she ends up with Mr. Rochester. So I was just like, why? Like, I hope that I hope that they change this because I don't like this guy.
Well, I kind of wish. I mean, I kind of see why they left the ending like that, but I wish we had like a short story of like
of the new Mr. Rochester. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like that was so abrupt. Like, I get it.
No, I understand. Like, I was like,
I want like a short story.
And all of a sudden they introduced this new Mr. Rochester, and I was like,
this is our
at the very end. I mean, I get it. You want to have like a happy ending for Jane, but really at the very, very end, that's just so annoying.
Because then it's just like, well, I want to read more now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then in the beginning of the book, I didn't really suspect the Duke, but then it turned into a whole thing.
I was honestly like, I didn't suspect the Duke so much as I honestly thought the whole time Mr. Rochester was going to be like the bad guy.
Me too. And then he turned out to be a good guy.
Yeah.
So what, he was possessed by his brother?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So, and then the crazy lady was the wife, but she's not crazy.
No.
And then there's the son. And then who's Mr. Mason? That's his name. Mr. Mason was the brother? The other brother?
Mr. Mason is the brother of the wife.
Brother of the wife. Okay. We do have some comments in the chat. And it's Desiree from Libri Labra. Was the book as funny as My Lady Jane? No.
In my opinion, it wasn't.
It
was still like, it was really entertaining. Like, it was a really entertaining story, but it's like you said at the beginning, I do feel like this book was a little bit darker and a little bit more serious. But My Lady Jane, I feel like it had more of like a comical twist to it.
Especially with Horseboy.
Yes. So I would say that if you're looking for a really, really good laugh, I would read My Lady Jane Grey or My Lady Jane, whatever. So because I do feel like that one was just, I feel like they wrote the book to be really, really funny, and book just, I feel like they made it a little bit more serious than My Lady.
Yeah, and like this one was still good, but like it had like a slightly darker twist to it, which is why it probably wasn't as funny.
Yeah.
If anybody else has any other questions, our whopping 3 viewers, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them are us. Yeah, me too. If anybody else has any questions, leave them in the comments. Oh, we have 4 viewers now. Or you can tweet us at oncereadalong for any more questions. Trying to like rack my brain to like think of other things to discuss.
I wish they kind of showed Adele more. You know, the little girl. Because they kept, like, the whole point of her going to Mr. Rochester's house was to be a governess for the little girl. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this little girl appeared, but she didn't really.
Yeah, I feel like maybe what was she supposed to be like little or like
I don't know how old this girl. I honestly, I can't tell you. I don't know how old she's
yeah.
supposed to be.
Um I I wonder like I know they kind of explained it, but like I wish she wasn't so insistent of like I'm meant to be a governess and it's like
I don't understand
no.
why she. I mean, I get it. Like they do explain at the beginning of the book that women, their prospects was either to marry a rich man and be a governess to a rich family. So, but I was like, I understand. But then, like, she got offered five. I mean, gladly, we're glad that she didn't take the $5,000 £5,000 offer. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you have this great offer and you're turning it down for this job. I don't get it. I mean, and
Yeah.
it she was in love with Mr. Rochester, but he's so creepy. It's just like,
How
okay.
I want to know like how much £5,000 back then would be today.
I'm assuming a lot of money,
How
especially
much is it? How much is a pound now?
to dollars. It's
Yeah.
for every $1, it's like 60 cents in pounds.
Huh.
Yeah, the pounds is worth more.
The pound is worth more?
Yeah, pounds are worth more. You need
I
more.
don't get it. You're more like cultured, like traveling wise than I am. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
so you need more dollars in order to buy more as many pounds as you want. You know what I mean?
Is that the equivalent to the American dollar being worth more than the Canadian dollar?
Yes.
Wait. So okay, so we have a dollar and let's say a Canadian dollar is worth like $1.50.
Okay, if
So
you have $1 for
yeah.
$1 you can only get 60 cents in pounds because the pounds is worth more. The UK pound is worth more.
So the smaller number is worth more.
Yes, because you need more dollars in order to buy pounds.
This is too much for me. This is too much. I need See, you and Will are like cultured, and I'm just here.
There's another comment if you want to
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Bree Nick 72. Have you heard if there will be a third Jane book? I was thinking a biography type story of Jane Austen's life would be great. Yeah, there is going to be, as far as we know, there's only going to be 3. And the third one is My Calamity Jane.
From what we just researched on Google, the third Jane book will be based off of My Calamity Jane. And My Calamity Jane, according to Wikipedia, was this American woman who lived during like the 1900s, early 1900s in like Wild Wild West America. So I think that's interesting because these first 2 books have been, based in London, and now they're moving the third book to America. So it would be quite interesting to see how we. And apparently, according to Wikipedia, My Calamity Jane, her life ended terribly. So we'll see how they write her story. So
Probably not as terribly.
yeah. But it would be interesting to do like a book on Jane Austen. That would be really cool since she's a famous Jane.
That's Pride and Prejudice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pride and Prejudice, that reminded me when we started when we were reading this and we were introduced to Mr. Rochester, or like not even before that, I kept thinking like I was like, when is Mr. Darcy gonna show up? That's the wrong book.
Wrong book, yeah, way wrong.
Way wrong. Like this is not Pride and Prejudice. I tried. What you got? I got nothing. How do you guys do this over at the Biblio Squad? Keep it going for. I mean, there's like 4 of you.
Yeah, that's true. Usually, Grace, who hosts the live show, she usually like takes notes, and then she'll ask us questions like, "What are your predictions for the next book?" Well, obviously, it's not a sequel, so you can't predict the next book.
I am doing this all wrong.
What do you like? She asked us about characters. Who was your favorite character and why?
Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. I used to take notes. And
So
then I stopped. I don't know why.
who is your favorite character?
Um, I okay. So I at first I think it's gonna be Alexander, but going into that, I thought like Alexander and Jane were gonna like end up being the couple, and then it ended up being Charlotte and Alexander, and I still like that too. But I was like at the beginning, I was like Alexander and Jane. That's gonna be it, and then it was the other dude. Who was your favorite character?
I don't know who's my favorite character, but I definitely like. I don't know, like I feel like they kept putting him down a lot, but I liked Branwell.
Yeah.
He's dumb, and he's obviously not cut out. His life is not cut out to be. He's not cut out to be an agent for
Mm-hmm.
the society. But I liked him. He was funny, and he was just like charming in his own little weird, clumsy way.
Yeah.
I mean, he did let himself get possessed by a ghost.
That's why he's not part of the society anymore.
But I do like Branwell. I think he was just really charming, and he did things like, even though he messed up a lot, he didn't mean it, and I feel like he always like had the best intentions, and he just messed up. He was just a forgetful person, and we've all been there where we just make a stupid mistake that we never think about. We didn't think about the consequences of it, and like the fact that he got possessed by a ghost. But I think he was cute and charming, and I wish he had a more like of a happier ending. He became he took over the person, and I don't know. I wish he had a more happier ending for him.
Yeah. What did he become again? What it starts with a P.
A parson.
Parson.
Like
And
he
that's
took over the parson from his dad.
and that's like a priest.
Yeah, he like became like a priest kind of thing. He kept talking about how he has to like bless babies and
Yeah, and marry people.
yeah.
Um,
Apparently he liked that, so
yeah. Let's see. Allison King asks favorite part of the book and least favorite. I read the first one and started this one. I hope you don't mind spoilers, Allison. I'm sorry. What was you go first? I gotta think.
I have to say my least favorite part of this book was Jane, with the fact that she wanted to stay being a governess for the sole reason of Mr. Rochester. Like she had no other reason that she wanted to stay with him besides the fact that she was in love with him, even though he was possessed by a ghost. So she just frustrated me because like Charlotte Bronte, obviously the job offer that she got from Charlotte was bad in the end, but we didn't know that until the very ending of the book.
Yeah.
But she offered a lot of money to do this job, to be a ghost hunter, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
He got offered a lot of money, and at one point I remember that when she and Charlotte were speaking, Charlotte called her selfish. She's like, you have this opportunity and you're just like throwing it away for no reason. And at this point it was when Charlotte was feeling like almost jealous because Jane is special. She's a special ghost hunter. But I don't know, I really like, I was so angry with Jane, just because I feel like I don't know, I just like, for me, I'm like very feminist in that way, and that I feel like you shouldn't throw away great opportunities like that simply because of a man. So I just like, she frustrated me to no end, and I was just like, wake up, this is a lot of money, you could help out. You could get those little girls from that orphanage out, since you talk about how bad it was, like, how you were starved and you had no heat. Like, I don't understand your reasoning here. My favorite part of the book, I definitely feel like my favorite part of the book was at the very ending, when Charlotte and Alexander finally admitted their feelings for him, because they're so awkward, but they're so cute, and they're like thinking about like, what's the proper way to do this? I want to tell you I like you, but then again, like Victorian era, they're not supposed to like kiss or anything, and they're not supposed to talk. And I just like that scene was really, really cute, and I think it's one of my favorites.
I think my least favorite part was like right at the very, very beginning, and I mean, this was also when I was still a little slumpy, so this might be biased. But right at the very, very beginning, when it opens with Charlotte, and I was like, well, who's Charlotte? Where's Jane? This is not how this works. And then I also kind of didn't like when Charlotte was like kept like going on and on about like trying to get into the society, and it's like, you don't see ghosts. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, I get it, but like, you don't see ghosts. You don't get to do this. And then my favorite part, I think, was probably when we found out, like, when the whole like twist started happening, like, and like Alexander like got the talisman off of Rochester, and like all these different things were unveiled, and it was like huge plot twists.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the chat?
No.
Nope. What next?
But I think it's interesting that I like the whole thing about the way that you capture ghosts is by using a special talisman that they each had in their life, something that was important to them. I do like that. And like at the beginning of the book, when they first caught that first ghost that Jane revealed herself to Alexander.
Yeah.
And like they say that they bopped the ghost in the head with.
I was just thinking that.
It's like, that is so freaking cute. I can't.
It's because like, and then for the rest of the book, they're just like, he bopped him on the head or whatever.
I was just thinking of like Pokemon balls. You know how they like the monster gets sucked into little Pokemon balls? So I was like, boop, and then they get sucked into the little talisman.
Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Bridget reads and reads says, my least favorite part of the book was the beginning. It took me a while to get into the book. My favorite part was the last 2/3.
Yeah, I agree. Like the first part of the book was just because I feel like with My Lady Jane, the first book, it didn't take me very long to get into the book just because the weird things started happening right at the beginning. And like we already talked about, I do feel like the first book was a little funnier and a little more comical, so it was able to keep my attention more. Yeah. But I do agree that the last 2/3 of the book was a lot more interesting because it's just when everything started happening, like all of the plot twists started coming out. You know, they really kicked in gear with the ghost hunting and figuring out who was the bad guy, and then the bad guy that we thought was the bad guy turned out to be a good guy, and you know, and then we finally discovered who actually killed the dude at the beginning of the book.
Oh yeah, Mr. like.
And it was just like a little side note in the epilogue or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Same person says, "What are you planning on reading next?" I'm finishing the selection. I actually had it next to me. This is my I'm rereading it. I actually started rereading this before reading My Plain Jane, but I needed something to really get me out of my mood. But I'm gonna finish it tonight. I've got less than 100 pages. You need to bite the bullet and buy the Elite on Amazon.
Elites, I know.
If you buy it, then I'll reread it with you.
Okay, I will. But right now I'm reading. I put this book aside in order to pick up this book, but I'm reading Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I started reading during Tome Topple a couple weeks ago, and I never ended up finishing it. So I'm trying to finish this book tonight because right at midnight, you know, Booktubeathon starts.
I was gonna ask if you're doing that.
Yeah, I am. I have to edit my TBR video that I left for last minute and put it up tonight.
Good job. I put mine up so I could enter that contest, and I didn't win the contest. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna try and stay up until midnight. I've been staying up like later the past like 2 days, but I'm gonna try and actually like stay up so I can start at midnight. Yeah. What are you coin tossing?
It's between Never Fade, which is the sequel to The Darkest Minds.
Yeah.
Or King's Cage, which is the third book in the.
Those are huge to start.
I know, but I have two on my TBR. I have two really, really small books that I'm reading for Booktubeathon. So,
well, see, so I tried to pick like relatively small books, and my coin toss. I know one is the second illustrated edition of Harry Potter, and the other one I want to say it's either Will Grayson, or Batman Nightbringer. I can't remember. But then I also have. I'm hoping it lands on Harry Potter first of all. But then I got the audiobook of Isla and the Happily Ever After, which I can't even remember for what challenge, and I'm gonna start reading that tomorrow because that'll be good on my commute.
Book that's has a green on the cover.
No, I'm using it for something else. Oh, for something you want to do. I think I'm using it for traveling or whatever. But like it's rough this week. So I got a work meeting this week, and I've got yoga Tuesday night. But we're gonna make it work. The weekend is gonna be my ally, I think. And I finished all my schoolwork, so I'm good. I'm really good. I'm so excited. I told myself I was like, I'm gonna get it done before, and I got it done today.
Yeah, good.
Let's see. Is it?
You're always so busy.
I know. That's what I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell you everything after this. Well, did you watch my reading vlog? The one I posted?
I actually did. And it's not really a reading vlog, it's a life update.
I know.
I was gonna comment that, but you'd probably be like, I know, and then delete my comment or something.
I already knew that. And because on the day that I sat down, I think it was like a Saturday that I sat down and filmed that whole like life update part, I was like, I'm 2 weeks into the month. I haven't started this. It needs to be done. Let's go. And I sat down and I spilled all the tea on my life. And then I started doing the reading vlog actual part. I'm going to be better this month though. Well, I'm going to try because I've got a booktubeathon vlog. Then after booktubeathon I'll start vlogging for the actual month. It's rough, but I'll tell you everything after this.
Anything else you want to discuss?
I got nothing. You got anything?
I definitely have to say I was surprised by the wedding, like the almost wedding.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I was screaming. I was like, hell no. She is not me. She's not, no. She is not marrying someone who is, no. Ugh.
You know what I was thinking when it happened? I was thinking, you know, like one of my all-time favorite movies is Shrek. Mm-hmm. When he comes in, stop! I object! And I was just like, oh God. If anybody has any last-minute questions, put them in the chat now. We'll answer them before we sign off.
No, that's true. I didn't think about that, but that's true. But yeah, that whole scene, like, I can't, like, I was saying, I can't believe he's forcing her to marry him, and then it's not even him; it's his creepy brother who possessed him.
Who was she possessed by? Did we ever find that out?
I'm not sure. I think I want to say it's someone that the brother who was possessing Mr. Rochester was in love with, because that's what they kept saying. Like he said something along the lines that he's been trying to like find her again, or he's in love with her. I'm not entirely sure. So I think it's somebody from that he was in love with when he was alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm not sure.
All right. If we don't have any last minute questions, which I'm not seeing any pop up, then I guess we're good to talk about August. Yep. I cannot believe it's about to be August, first of all.
I know, school's starting. Don't even remind me.
Dude, public school starts 2 weeks before our semester. So my work schedule is going to change 2 weeks earlier. And then I'll go, and then my actual class starts. Anyway, so August. Our book of the month is going to be, and I don't have a copy because it's not out. It's not out until Tuesday, actually. Our August. Desiree just said our birthdays are soon. Hell yeah, our birthdays are soon. Desiree, you got to drive the 2 hours to come to my party.
Yeah, you got to come celebrate with us.
Yes, got to come celebrate. Well, I'm sure we'll celebrate during like BookNet Fest.
Yeah.
Oh, if anybody's coming to BookNet Fest, we're gonna be there. I'm so excited.
I know, it's in like what, 37 days or something.
I gotta talk to Teresa. Well, I mean, we're all confirmed to be rooming together, but like, I haven't.
It's 39 days.
I know, I haven't talked to Teresa recently. I need to be like, hey, we're still good, right? The last time I talked to Teresa was when I got that quote for the paper I wrote about you.
Oh.
Yeah, I was texting her. I was like, hey, I just said the same thing to you. I'm like, hey, I don't mean to like bother you again, but like this paper's due tomorrow. I need a quote.
It's fine.
Anyway, so it's gonna be Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. This comes out on Tuesday. It's a retelling of Little Mermaid. I'm guessing following the Sea Witch. And our live show for this, we just said this. What is it? August 26th. Sunday, August 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel. And for any, the date is always subject to change. So for anything related to that, you can follow us on Twitter at OnceReadAlong. So yeah, I'm checking the chat one more time. And is there anything else?
Is it part of the series? I don't think so. No. I think it's the first book.
I think if it's not the first book in a series, it's a standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all we got. And I hope you guys enjoyed our live show. And make sure to come join us on August 26th to discuss Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. I do this when I do my outros too, because I filmed 2 videos before this. I don't know. Okay. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.